Last time I stood in silence like this with this many cameras when I stood at the aisle when waiting for my wife to walk up the aisle 20 years ago.
Tell me on that call, mate.
Yeah.
Is this moment as exciting for you?
Yeah, really is. Both exciting and really appreciative of the opportunity that's been presented. So exciting to get to know my colleagues, start building personal connections and really immerse myself in the club and the men's and women's footy programs. And yeah, that part of it's really exciting and certainly appreciative, and it's a real privilege to be in the position at the club.
Have you met the players and Matthew Nicks yet?
I certainly met Matthew. We enjoyed some really good time together during the process. Haven't met many of the players yet. I'm probably more familiar with our female players than I am with the male, given that most have come through the sort of SANFL pathways. But looking forward to getting to know the players, and first and foremost, that's critical to me in the role to build those relationships.
Is this something you've built your career towards?
Yeah, I think like with anyone in their career, you take twists and turns, but certainly when I was CEO at the East Fremantle Football Club, I really enjoyed my time inside of the club environment, and I've been working hard to develop myself as a professional in the industry, and when the opportunity presented itself, I was keen to demonstrate my eagerness, and just so fortunate to be awarded the opportunity.
You've got an incredible resume, but you could say the one weakness is no AFL experience. Was that discussed in the selection process?
Yeah, I think what's been important as a part of my development is I have got strong connections, not only in the industry itself, but directly with people at AFL clubs, AFL footy operations, given the governing body role that we have at SANFL, and I've been fortunate enough over recent years to spend time inside of 2 AFL clubs as a part of my own professional development, so I feel comfortable moving into the space.
What clubs are they, and who have you sort of dealt closely with?
Yeah, I would prefer not to talk about the clubs that provided me with the opportunity, but I've expressed my gratitude to both of those clubs today for the opportunities they gave me over recent years to be a part of their programs and have a look at what they do.
And did you actually apply for this job, or did the Crows reach out to you, knowing your background?
Yeah, I expressed my interest in the role when it became available, so that was some time ago now, and throughout the process what's really impressed me is I've been able to meet with 6 or 7 people across the club, been really impressed with their drive to take the program forward, their passion for the club. They've certainly got their shoulder to the wheel and working hard.
What have you been told will be involved in the role? What will your position include?
Well, as the role of head of footy, there's oversight over the entirety of the football program, both men's and women's. The technical experts are in their roles, whether it be coaching or high performance or what have you, and what I bring is a breadth of experience around governance, leadership, management, resource allocation and what have you, strategy. So we've got people who've been at the club for a long time. We've got a new senior coach, and so it's going to be really exciting to work with him.
How heavily involved was Nixie in your recruitment process and the interviews and conversations you had with the club?
Yeah, as I think the club's detailed, the relationship between the head of football and the senior coach is a really important one, so he has been heavily involved in the process. It was great when I returned from annual leave last week to sit down with him for a number of hours and talk broadly about what's happening at the club, but also get to build a bit of a rapport with him. And it was great to sit down and start that personal connection. So it was really pleasing.
What have been your first impressions of Matty Nicks?
Well, he's a very relatable guy. When the conversation quickly deviates away from the footy program, starting to talk about family and what's really important and building relationships and comparing notes on how we maintain our hairstyles, etc. So, I think it was a natural conversation, and I guess people who are good at building relationships, it comes naturally, and that's certainly something I found in Matthew.
Adam, what was his main ask of you in this role?
He didn't really ask anything of me, or certainly didn't put any demands on me in the role. I think what we're both looking forward to is starting to build that relationship. And that's, after meeting him last week, face to face, I think that was the thing I walked away from, is that this is somebody I can see we're going to forge a strong relationship and support each other in our capacity within the club.
How do you see the role? Obviously, Brett Burton held the role previously. the culture of the club falling away and things like that. How important is the leadership and culture part of your scenario?
Yeah, I think like anyone, I think when you've got purpose and belonging, you tend to thrive in life, and certainly that's what we'll be working for at the club, is to that strong sense of purpose, strong sense of belonging. When you build a culture of care from the organisation to the individual, and the individual back to the organisation, where you put other people first, you work hard, you're honest with each other, I think you do build an environment that sets you up well for success.
Clearly you'll work very closely with Nixie. Nixie spoke previously about wanting to work very closely with the head of footy.
Yeah, absolutely. That relationship between a head of footy and the coach is a critical one within a football club and the environment, so it'd be very close working relationship.
The other role that's up for grabs, a culture leadership role, will you be involved in that appointment, or?
Yeah, be involved in the appointment, get across the needs of the role, help shape the role, and then meet with potential candidates in the coming weeks.
And when do you expect something by Christmas for that one, hopefully? Or?
I'm not going to put a time frame on it. I'm literally standing here before you. Only told my kids last night that I was into the role, so I'm not across that at this stage, but it envisage it's going to be in the near future.
So
Was
you're
it called a
officially,
selection
you're officially starting in the new year, is that right?
Yeah, I'll be starting in the new year, working on the transition with SANFL and the club, and we'll commence in the new year.
So fair to say the leadership and culture position, that will be maybe early February based on those timelines?
Yeah, look, depending on, just because I'm not starting officially until the new year doesn't mean other things can't happen in between, so I'm not going to put a time frame on it.
What was your selection process like? How many interviews and what?
It was a unique process to go through, in that it wasn't a traditional process, and it was multi-layered, and I guess as the process evolved, I became more eager to be at the club, because I got to meet with a number of people across the club, and more one-on-one contact, and certainly it built in my confidence in the club, the positivity, the drive that they have to take the program forward, and
When you say multi-layered, can you be a bit more specific about what you had to go through?
Yeah, I guess it just wasn't I guess most of us, when we think about recruitment, you think about the traditional style of recruitment where you sit up in front of a panel and what have you, but these are a lot of conversations, and I know that they weren't just conversations that I was having, it was conversations that the club was having with people in the industry, some of which I'm aware of, and I'm sure there was plenty of conversations that were happening that I'm unaware of. And I think all in all, throughout that process, and given its length, it built my confidence in the environment that I was walking into, and I know would have built the confidence in the club and the type of person they're bringing into the organisation.
Do you feel a greater importance with your role, given the way that Brett Burton departed?
I think the role's important regardless of any history, and my focus is on where we move to from here.
Do you know much about the review that went on and what came out of that review, as in more than the general public, to how to do things different, I guess, this time around?
No, I'm not across the review, but I'm sure that it will be once I get into the role, and reviews are a critical part of that continual improvement, and there'll be learnings that we'll take from every day that we need to use to drive our performance forward.
How tough to go for the role when you had such a good job at the SANFL?
Yeah, it was tough. It's tough to leave SANFL. Great environment, really great organisation. What they deliver for football in South Australia is significant. Built a lot of strong friendships, which I'm sure will endure, and we'll obviously have a close relationship with the SANFL moving forward. So, it's a bittersweet moment. Saying, advising my team today that I was moving on, and really appreciated for the love they extended to me this morning. So look forward to maintaining that relationship.
What's your greatest achievement there? As you brought in the one touch out of bounds rule and things like that, what's your greatest achievement there?
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's an achievement of mine. I think that what we achieved as an organisation's been significant over the last 5 years. There's been considerable change to the governance of football in South Australia. We now have all affiliations going directly into SANFL. We've reformed junior football in the metropolitan area. Our state league competition stands above any other state league competition of any sport in Australia. So I'm proud of the achievements of the team at the SANFL.
Adam, you said Nixie didn't ask anything specific of you. Is there anything specific yourself, or any one thing that you'd like to achieve or be your legacy in this sort of role?
Yeah, I think footy clubs can be really magic places, and I think when you can really build that sense of purpose and belonging, that's when people thrive, and that's when you're happy in life, you're thriving at what you do, and that's certainly something that I want to be a part of at the club.
You mentioned telling your family. How was that? Were they wrapped, or were they a bit worried they weren't going to see you anymore?
Well, they were disappointed they couldn't tell their friends. As you'd appreciate, there's a lot of Crows fans out there, and their school friends are particularly passionate about the club, but I had to get them to ease their excitement for at least 24 hours.
With that attention comes a lot of scrutiny, obviously. How do you think you'll handle that when that do come?
As it arises. It's obviously there's a lot of interest in the club. We've got a devoted and passionate supporter base, unlike any other in the AFL. So that's all part and puzzle of it, and that's something to be embraced.
Where do you think the club sits at, given everything that's transpired over the last year or two?
Well, there's been a bit of change to the list, obviously, in the off-season. There's been a bit of a rejuvenation there. What we'll be looking forward to next year is playing a brand of footy that our fans and members can be really proud of.
What expectations do you think the fans can have on the team based on the list and what's there at the moment?
I think the expectations will be that we're playing that brand of footy that that they can be proud of. We've brought in 8 new players during the off-season period through the trade, national and rookie drafts, which is probably the most significant rejuvenation of the list in some time. We've got some really quality players developing in the SANFL, with Tommy Doedee back, and Darcy Fogarty finished the year off extremely well. So there's a lot to be positive about for next year.
And you mentioned AFLW, that sort of sits under your umbrella responsibilities. Was that something that Brett Burton was previously responsible, the role was previously responsible? Is that something new that's been taken in?
No, it's always been the case that both the men's and women's programs have been a part of that head of football role. I've been a fan of the women's team since its inception. I was working closely with the club when they were forming the team and how they were going about building a list, given the nature of the role that I had at SANFL. I'm a big fan of the women's team, and obviously their success has been terrific for women's football in South Australia.
You and the family always been Crows fans?
No, we haven't. I grew up in country Victoria, so I don't know too many people that I grew up with who were barracking for the Crows in Swan Hill. So no, that hasn't been the case. But certainly in my time here in Adelaide, which has now been 5 years, as I just alluded to, being a fan of the women's team. So they've certainly been my AFL team when it comes to women's footy.
So did you barrack for them?
I can't remember.
You could have had time.
I told the kids last night. That's all forgotten. So
You can't remember who you barracked for?
No. We'll leave it at that. I grew up a Bomber supporter.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm a bit proud of that.
Yeah.